Hello, this is Biblical Tarot, and I'm back with another video. And in this video, I will be doing my interpretation of the Six of Wands in a Kabbalistic way. So, I would like to say a couple of statements before I get into the nitty-gritty of the card. So, you have to understand that the artwork on the Rider-Waite looks very weird and tacky. Some people say it's weird. Some people say, oh, it's so tacky, you know. But it's tacky or weird because there is hidden images, there's symbols, symbolisms within the card. So if the pictures were to be like picture perfect, at that point in time, they probably wouldn't have been able to really hide the symbols and the symbolism within the cards. And I find these cards very magical. I don't even know if I want to call them magical. I just know they're very interesting. You know, is it magic? I don't know. Is it, what is it? I don't know what it is, but it's pretty interesting. But there's the reason why it looks like that, like weird lines, weird ziggly lines somewhere, or maybe a hand might look a little weird. But the reason why the hand looks weird is because it's not a hand, it's something else. Like it's a hidden image. You got to look at it, you know? But I don't know. But, that's why it looks a little weird. But even though it looks a little weird, you have to look into the images and things will start popping out. So I'm going to get off that. I'm starting to do a rant there. But there is hidden images, hidden symbols, hidden symbolisms within the card where you can pick out a couple of things and, put them together and it's going to give you a message. Okay. So the cards are coded to the Kabbalistic Tree of Life diagram. Okay? It corresponds to the Tree of Life diagram. Kabbalah is encoded within the 78 cards of the tarot. Once you learn the basic meanings to the Kabbalah and the Bible, then you are able to understand and find the quote-unquote hidden messages in the cards. It's so hard to explain it, and it's totally because to understand it is to know. To know is to study. Okay? The most important step to decoding the cards, I think, this is all in my opinion, the most important step to decoding the cards in a Kabbalistic way is to know, hear me? To know and remember the biblical stories. Everything is encoded into those stories. Everything. It's crazy. If the stories are boring to you, believe me, you will never figure out Kabbalah unless you're like doing some other, I don't know. There's lots of Kabbalahs. But I think the Kabbalah for these cards have to do with the biblical stories. And it has to do with lots of other things that are encoded within the cards. But, Arthur E. Waite, if I'm not mistaken, he was a Catholic. So, Catholic, Rosicrucian, mystic, all that. But, yes, I'm back to the biblical stories. Everything is encoded into those stories, as I said. And once you build yourself up with the knowledge of the Bible, those stories, the continuing story of the Bible, and that doesn't mean read the whole Bible from one one book all the way through to Revelation. No, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. No, 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 it don't work that way. I mean, you could do that, but to go back and forth and keywords and that's when all the messages start to come out. This is all in my opinion, of course. All right, so we'll get past that. So we talked about that. Build yourself up with the knowledge of the Bible. We talked about that. All the symbolisms and the parables, the analogies can correspond to the tree and the paths on the tree. So we can see that paths on the tree. All of it. The cards correspond definitely to that. What you see right there on the screen. Also, the Hebrew alphabet that belongs to the paths, okay? The Hebrew alphabet is the key. If you want to unlock it, if you want to unlock the cards, you have to understand the alphabet. And I'm not saying it would be nice. Yeah, go learn Hebrew. I mean, I wish I can. I just don't have the time. But you've got to understand what the alphabet is and what each alphabet means. And you have to put it to memory. It has to be like in your heart. You have to know it like in your heart. You have to take those 22 letters and make them you. Like you got to remember every single thing about them, like deeply, like the symbolism of them, what it looks like. You know, I wish I could go further, which I'm not going to say I wish I could if I would find the time, be able to learn how to read it. And then I'm pretty sure, oh my God, be no limit of the things I could glean from the Bible, reading it in Hebrew. But I'm from America and I know English, so I have to glean it in English. And I do pretty good, as much as I can, but it's nothing like reading it in original, even though there is no true original, I'm pretty sure. But I think I'm babbling. So let's get back to it. I think that the cards can unlock some biblical truth, and the Bible can unlock what the cards are truly about. That's what I believe. So, we can go on to this card here. This card right here. Back to this card. Six of Wands. So, this card has a Roman numeral 6 on it, which is supposed to let you know that it belongs to the sixth circle on the Tree of Life. Now, I'm dumbing this down as much as I can to you. I'm like dumbing it down so you can understand. Okay? And this is all, like I said, in my opinion. Okay, so as you look at the 6 right there, right? That 6, okay. The 6, which is supposed to let you know that it belongs to the sixth circle on the Tree of Life. Now, we see that sixth circle right there? That's the sixth circle, okay? Don't confuse the numbers of the major arcana, okay? Don't confuse those numbers with the numbers of the number of the blah blah blah. Don't confuse, let me go back here. Don't confuse this number 6 with the number 6 of the major arcana with the lovers, okay? You don't want to mix those up, okay? You probably could, yeah, but for right now, we want to separate them, okay? The major arcana is 0 to 21. Those have to do with the Hebrew alphabet, okay? And the small cards that are 1 through 10, the decade, it's got to do with the circles on the tree, okay? Each suit has 1 through 10 cards, the small pip cards. They call them pips, or you can call them the minor arcana. Those match up to those. Okay? Each one goes to 1. And the 6 that we're talking about, the 6 of Wands, goes to the yellow circle. Now, I really dumbed that down. Okay? There's 10 circles. And you match them up by the number. The major arcana, again, 0 to 21, applies to the Hebrew alphabet. And you match the letters to the cards. Okay? The cards is 0 to 21. The Hebrew alphabet is 1 to 22. It's the same amount of numbers, okay? All 22. So you match them together. The cards are the letters, really, but with numbers. Each of the cards is actually a Hebrew letter. It represents a Hebrew letter. Or you could just say it's a Hebrew letter. Yeah. The emperor, you could just say he's a Hebrew letter. He's Hay. If you want him to be Hay. But we're not going to get into that. All right. So, as I told you, the cards are letters. So you're probably asking, why am I telling you this? So you can understand the placement. You can understand the placement of the Six of Wands on the sixth circle. Okay, the sixth circle called Tefrith. And Tefrith means spirituality, balance, integration, beauty. It is the heart of the tree, okay? It's the heart of the tree. It balances the whole tree. So, okay. Some call it the house of the world to come. I thought that was beautiful. The house of the world to come. Okay. The sixth circle, it's connected to all the other circles, which is important. Okay. Everything on this diagram is there for a reason and is important. Nothing's arbitrary. Nothing's arbitrary. So, as we get back to it, this sixth circle or the sixth Sephra is connected to the path of the high priestess, as you see the camel walking up that path. Okay? The high priestess is the 13th path of wisdom. Okay? The high priestess takes on the Hebrew letter Gimel. Okay? And the Hebrew letter Gimel, it means a camel. Okay? It means a camel. You know, the camel in the desert. It means a camel. She is a camel. But, okay, so the high priestess takes on the Hebrew letter Gimel. Camel. And that's why we have a camel symbolism in this card that I showed you. If you see the cloak, call it a cloak. It's some kind of a wrap he's wearing, which is the Emperor's wrap. If you go and look at the fourth card of the Major Arcana in this deck, you'll see the Emperor wearing what he's wearing. He's wearing his cloak. But anyways, if you look at the cloak carefully, you'll see a camel. You see that camel? Kind of like Joe's Camel cigarettes? Yeah. Yeah. You see a camel. And that's why I was telling you about the camel. I'm trying to guide you along the tree with the cards. And we're on a camel right now. We're on a camel. We're on the 13th path of wisdom. And we're coming off of that sixth circle. Which, remember, I told you about the sixth circle. It means balance. It's Tefrith. It also represents the sun. And if you look at the man on the horse, do you see underneath the cloak of his father, the emperor? Do you see what color he has on? He has on yellow. That yellow represents that sixth Sephrat, that sixth circle, which is beauty, balance, okay, integration, the sun. Okay. Do you understand? Do you get where I'm going with this? Okay. I hope you do. I hope you're with me. So we see that. We see the sixth Sephrat. We see that camel. That is the path of the high priestess. And for us to get up there to that number one circle, the number one circle, we have to go through, we have to follow that path all the way up there. And it's a long way. It's a long way. And to get through there, we have to go through the desert and we have to go through the abyss. You see what I'm saying? That's why we need a camel. That's why we need a camel. Okay? Yeah, I'm trying to dumb this down for you as good as I can. You know, I wish I had somebody to dumb it down for me, because I've had to research and learn it all on my own through the Holy Spirit, because I have nobody. I have nobody to teach me. Only finding, articles and research and encyclopedias and reading and stuff like that. So, but I'm not going to play a victim. We're on a camel right now, though. And by us being on the camel, it's going to go back to all the pictures to watch. There we go. But by us being on a camel, we're going to get up to that number 1 crown. The crown cutter. So the high priestess is the way to go. But do you see where you have that path, and you see the other path that's going to cross Gimel, which is Dalit, which is 14, which is the Empress. And if you see that whole thing right there, it's a cross, okay? That also is a symbolism on the high priestess's breast, her chest. That cross is telling you about that path right there. That's the path that she's on. And you see the moon on her head. I don't think that's a moon. Everybody says that's a moon. But it's not a moon, guys. It's not a moon. That is death knowledge. The moon is by her feet. I noticed that. And the Holy Spirit, it just, but this week, how can I put it? It's hard to explain. It revealed that to me, that her headdress thing, I guess you can call it a moon if you want to, but it's not, dude. I'm telling you, it's not. It's death. It's death. The moon is by her feet. She ain't got 2 moons going on. Unless it's a reflection. I don't know. But I'll keep on going here. So, we have the 6 of Wands, which is placed on the tree of life as Tefrith, the sun. There's a path above Tefrith, which is the 13th path of wisdom, and we already know that. The high priestess, represented in the Hebrew letter Gimel. The 13th path goes through the Sephirot that is not a Sephirot, a hidden Sephirot called Death, which means knowledge, which is what's on her headdress, that circle. Some call this place the desert. I ask you, what do you ride in the desert that can take you on a long journey? Something that stores its own water? A camel. We need to ride this camel from Tefrith all the way up to the crown Keter. Yes. Pretty interesting, I think. I love learning about it. It's just so interesting because everything corresponds and connects. So it's like the correspondence game, the connecting game. Now we'll get to the card. So the card means the Lord of Victory, okay? It means success, victory, triumph, rewards, recognition, praise, acclaim, pride. But what we really want to pay attention to is the hump on the horse. And the hump on the horse is a symbolism for the camel, right? Camels have humps. That's why, there we go. That's why this horse looks so freaking weird, because they're trying to hide the symbolism of a camel behind or within this horse. You see what I'm saying? Like, they did it on purpose. Like, it's supposed to look weird like that. Like, a lot of people be like, oh, that's ugly, blah blah blah. But they're hiding the fact that it's a camel. Okay, it has a hump. It's a camel. He has a camel on his cloak. And also, if you look also, it's another camel reference in this card. And if you look at the eye, okay, you see the eye that you can see on the horse? Well, look at the other eye, part of the eye where you can't see his eyeball or whatever. You see, you think you see a man on the other side, okay? But you can't like make it out really. It looks like a man, maybe he's yelling or something, but it's not a man. Right there, it looks really weird. I've always wondered what this was, okay? I've always wondered. I knew it wasn't a man because you have all these men like following this guy on a horse, and there's the guy with the red hat or the red turban thing with the horse in the middle, and then there's that looks like a mouth, okay, but it's not a person's mouth. And I've always wondered what that was, and the spirit told me what it was because I really connected with the camel. That is a camel's mouth, okay? The man's mouth is not a man's mouth, it's a camel's mouth, okay? And if you ever look at a camel, and I have a picture of it and I didn't put it on here, that camel spit, especially when they're mating, they spit out their mouth and they have all this white foam coming out their mouth. And that's why you see that white foam, that white weird stuff coming out the mouth. That has to do with a spitting camel. Definitely. If you just Google it. I don't have the picture right now because I forgot to put the picture in line with all the other pictures of what a camel looks like when it's foaming out the mouth and it's spitting. That's exactly what it is right there. And that's why I said they're hiding the fact that it's a camel. But, you know, they're hiding that symbolism. They just seem to want to hide everything. I don't know. They want you to work for it. It's really weird that they were hiding all this stuff. Why hide it? Just let us know. I don't know. But it's interesting to find it. It's fun finding it and understanding it because that's what they rode in the desert. That's what they rode over there. Them camels. They rode camels in long journeys. They were used for warfare. A lot of stuff, you know. You could see the guys have turbans and stuff on. So even though they're like European and you have a horse, it's the Middle Eastern or whatever you want to call it. All of that is hidden within the card. You just got to pay attention to it. You know, what other, they dressed camels up in beautiful clothes, you know, beautiful, you know, things like designs. And all you gotta do is look at pictures of them, especially old pictures of how they had their camels and how they were beautifully decorated and all. But yeah, that's what I see in the card though. And if you go like and research about the Gimel, the Hebrew letter Gimel, which this card is pointing us to, because Gimel is the path that runs off of the sixth Sephirot. The meaning of Gimel is a camel, a Gimel, and they say it means reward or punishment. Reward or punishment has to do with it. And it also talks about the Gimel, which this is the Gimel. It talks about how the Gimel represents the running of the rich man to bestow good upon the poor man. Okay? And if you go into the Bible on Matthew chapter 19:21, this is what Jesus said. Jesus answered, "If you want to be perfect, go sell your possessions and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come follow me. Okay? When the young man heard this, he went away sad because he had great wealth. Then Jesus said to his disciples, truly I tell you, it is hard for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of heaven. Again, I tell you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of God. And this is said 3 times, okay? Just like Gimel is 3. Gimel represents 3. That is said 3 times in the Bible. It is said in Matthew 19:20. What was that? Matthew 21, Mark 10:25, and in Luke 18:25. He mentions this camel and the eye of a needle. So I thought that was interesting too. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop now because, I don't want it to be too long because people these days, even I, have short attention spans, and it's hard to get a whole bunch of stuff within a small amount of time and for people to digest it. So I'm gonna say I love you and have a good night. Bye.